Facebook's on. Oh, there we are. We're live. Awesome. So I'll be able to see myself in a minute, is the theory. Can we see me in the room? I can't yet. So we'll just let everyone join me in the room when they get there. I can see. No, I can't see myself. But I'm sure I'm coming up in a moment. But there I am. There I am. Now I can see myself. Hello to the room. Hello to everyone who'll be joining us shortly. Hope you're well. Hi Rachel, how are you? No, we've got a good crowd in tonight. Wow. Double figures. Look at this. This is brilliant. Excellent. Just get yourself settled in, guys. If there's any newcomers to the quiz, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Now that the summer's gone and the long hot nights are all a thing of the past, it's dark out there right now. Hopefully we'll see a few more people in here doing the quiz live. So for those newcomers, all you need to do is get a pen and paper. You'll write down your answers as I ask out the questions, then we'll go through and mark our own. There are no prizes. There are no winners. There are no losers. It's just a bit of fun. Hopefully you'll do well. Maybe you'll learn a couple of things. Maybe I'll learn a few things. Yeah, we'll have a lovely evening. Hi, Caroline. No, Sam isn't doing much more than squeaking. I felt ever so bad for making her even do that. Yes, Sam is doing the tech for us tonight, and she's suffering a little bit. She's lost her voice completely. So let's give lots of love out to Sam for still being here and doing the job and getting my mug on screen, even though she's not feeling at her best at the moment. So thank you, Sam. So we'll give everyone a couple of minutes to get settled into the room, and then we'll get cracking. A little bit different this week's quiz in that it's more crime literature focused than previous weeks. Obviously, this is the Crime Book Club quiz, so I've tried to go down into that. There's a few things outside of the crime book genre, just to zhuzh it up a little bit. But for the most part, we're doing crime books this time round. So hopefully that'll give everyone a chance to score nice and highly this week. But again, it's just fun, isn't it? It's just fun. So let's get everyone in the room, and we'll get started in about 2 or 3 minutes. Do make yourself known if you're in the chat. Say hello, chat with one another, chat with me. So it's not like I'm just talking into the void. It always helps if I know who I'm talking to. So yeah, say hello. I love to talk to you, lovely people. Remember, this is the UK Crime Book Club pub quiz, just not in a pub. Doesn't mean that you have to have a beer. I do enjoy a wee tipple as I do it because nerves. But you don't have to drink a beer or drink anything alcoholic if you don't want to. It's just like you could be the designated driver for the night. And the great thing is you don't have to scan any QR codes as you arrive and report in or wear a face mask or anything like that. We're just all out in the natural as you can get when you're doing an online pub quiz. Right, 1 more minute and we'll get cracking. So thank you all for coming. There'll be 30 questions this evening. That's 30 points. There's no double points on offer this evening. It's all single points. And the first round that we'll be doing, imaginatively titled Crime Fiction. So I don't know, if you like to put a header at the start of your rounds, I would definitely put a header at the start of my rounds. But that's just the way I play. If I'm doing it seriously. I'm taking it seriously. So yes, we're going to start with question 1 very shortly. So yes, if you do find that you're coming into the middle of the quiz or you come in a couple of questions later, don't worry. Sam will be posting the questions at the end of each round of 5 questions. And also, you can always restart this video and watch it as and when you choose. It will be up on YouTube afterwards, thanks to the great admins at the UK Crime Book Club. They always make these quizzes available afterwards. So thank you very much for all the hard work they do there. That's fantastic. And it does, it makes a difference. It means that people can play along. You don't have to be here at 8 o'clock. If you've got something else going on, you've got to disappear somewhere, then you can do. If there's someone on the TV, I don't know what's on tonight. There's a bit of football, there's nothing else. No Bake Off tonight. That was on Tuesday, so you haven't got to worry about that. I would never want to go head to head with a Bake Off. Fool's errand. So yes, shall we get cracking then? Yes, let's do it. Right, round one, ladies and gentlemen. The UK Crime Book Club pub quiz, just not in a pub, for September is open. Round one, crime fiction question one. Deadbeat, Blue Jeans and Starstruck are all novels by Val McDermid, featuring which main character? That's your first question of the day. The wonderful Val McDermid. I've never met her. I'd love to meet Val. She always seems to me to be one of the great characters of the crime writing fraternity at the moment, and she's definitely my hero list. So that's question one. Yet again, Deadbeat, Blue Jeans, and Starstruck are all novels by Val McDermid, featuring which main character? I'll give you a moment to get that. Sam can talk in the chat. She can't talk properly, but you know that's the great thing about technique. Sidestep that one. Yes, she can talk by text at least. So question two. Tuva Moodysson is a reporter who appears in 3 books by Will Dean, Dark Pines, Red Snow and Black River, who deals with which physical handicap? Or a better way to say that is, what physical handicap does she deal with? Sometimes write these questions in a bit of a rush in between work and doing bits of work and, yes, being a family and all that sort of stuff. So sometimes I don't proofread them as well as I should do, and that's definitely one that got away. There we go. Sam knows that one. Excellent. Again, do say hello in the chat. Do feel free to join in. Don't give away the answers, though. Write them down in your piece of paper. And then we'll mark them at the end of the quiz, and we'll see who's got... Well, we don't even have to see who's got the highest score. If you want to brag about your score, go for it. If you want to keep it to yourself, go for it. If you want to lie, go for it. Why not? Question 2 again. Tuva Moodysson is a reporter who appears in the series of books by Will Dean, Dark Pines, Red Snow and Black River. But what physical handicap does she deal with? Well, that's question 2 in round 1. Patricia's here this week. Excellent. We missed you last time, Patricia. Good to have you back in again. Sam loves to brag about a low score. I think Sam lies about score. I think she does better than she lets on. I think she's trying to make everyone else feel better about themselves. This is what these mods do for you. They're always looking out for you guys. What a bunch. Question 3, round 1. Firewatching, the debut novel by Russ Thomas, follows Adam Tyler as he searches around Sheffield for someone who's committed which crime? That's question 3. I do like Sheffield. My last proper night out before lockdown in March, and since, because I'm out since, was in Sheffield. Great city. Very much enjoyed it. We went up to Hallam FC to watch a game of non-league football there. If you're in the area, a very welcoming, family-orientated football club. Massive respect to the team up there. You should definitely go and pop along and see them. You'll have a wonderful afternoon. It's even if you're perhaps not so much into non-league football, it's something you've not been to before. Hallam FC is a great place to start. They've got plenty of history. We had the ground tour and everything. Got to go on the pitch at half time and take penalties against the reserve goalkeeper. It was a great day out. Thoroughly recommend going to Hallam FC. And then we'll do question 3 again. Firewatching, the debut novel by Russ Thomas, follows DS Adam Tyler as he searches Sheffield in hunt of a person committing which crime? That's which crime, not which, as in crime. Patricia, you've missed a couple of questions. Yeah, Sam's already covered me. She's going to share the questions at the end, so don't worry, guys. As I've said before, if you missed a couple of questions, we will be sharing them in the chat shortly. And if anyone misses a specific one, you can always, shout out in the chat to me. To repeat myself, I'm a parent of a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. I am used to repeating myself. This is something I do regularly, ad infinitum at times, or at least it seems. Question 4. The death of which mythical creature makes up the title of Leslie Thompson's 2020 novel set in New Haven and features the protagonist Freddie Power. I'll reread that again because I absolutely butchered the year. The death of which mythical creature makes up the title of Leslie Thompson's 2020 novel set in New Haven and features the protagonist Freddie Power? There we go. I do find it funny how we've gone from saying, like, you know, at the start of the millennium, we were going 2001, 2002, 2003, whereas obviously at the end of the last millennium, it was all 19 such and such, 19 such, and now we've got sort of like a chunk of the way into this century. We've gone 2020. Now I'm saying 2019, it's 2019, but actually 2020, 2021. Why have we changed that? Why is that? Is there a reason? We've got lots of people who are handy with words. I'm sure somebody could possibly explain why we do that. There we go. Oh, Caroline knows that one. Of course, Pat, I think you've told me that before. Patricia is my Sunday name. Or if you, well, I'm not saying you're being bad at the minute, Pat. So we'll keep you on the good books. I'm sure you've told me before about that, so I will remember. Maybe. Right then, that's question 4, and the last question in round 1, crime fiction. Tainted Love by T.S. Hunter is the first book in which series named after a famous area of West London? It's an area I frequent quite a lot. Not just for the nightlife and the pubs, but because I work there quite a lot. There's a clue. If anyone knows anything about me, you might better wheedle down while I'm in that sort of neck of the woods. Oh, I see lots of reaction faces coming on. Who was angry? Who's dropping an angry face in? Oh, I don't know. Who am I upset now? Question 5. Tainted Love by T.S. Hunter is the first book in which series named after a famous area of West London? And that's round 1. And Sam has posted the questions if you've missed any. Well, I should be handy with the words, yes, but I don't quite understand the naming conventions for years and why we've gone from the 2000s to the 20s. I would always have stuck with the 20s. Just see, you know, I like things to go in an order and make logical sense. So I don't know why we veered to 2000s, and yeah, I'm glad we're into the 2020s and the 2021s, and hopefully we're sticking with that. 2036, 2036. 2036 sounds better, so let's go with that. I don't know why I'm thinking about 2036, it's a long way off. Why not make it? Well, that's optimistic, isn't it? So that's round 1 done, and that round was crime fiction. Round 2 is going to be called It's My Birthday. It's not my birthday. I don't have a birthday in September. But there are numerous famous authors who do have birthdays in September. I'm going to read out some clues now pertaining to a number of famous authors. And I'd like you to tell me who they are. And the link is that they've all got birthdays in September. So, question 1. Nice, easy one to ease you in on this round. This world-famous author also wrote romance under the name Mary Westmancott and delivers greats such as Poirot, Marple and Pine. I'll name that author. Has a birthday in September. If you're not going to get that one, okay. So that's question 1. I will repeat it, but it's a gimme. This world-famous author, who also wrote romance under the name of Mary Westmancott, delivers greats such as Poirot, Marple and Pine. Who are we talking about? 2 in the first round for Caroline. Have a punt at a couple of others. You might get more than 2. Better to have a guess than leave a blank, that's for sure. Question 2. See, Sam's guessing. Could work out. Could be a good tactic. Question 2 in the It's My Birthday round. Another of the all-time greats, born on September the 21st, who also goes under the name Richard Bachman. But who is he? Easy peasy lemon squeezy for Pat. Barbara. Caroline, don't give out the answers. It's not Barbara Taylor. No. So question 2 again. Another of the all-time greats, born on September the 21st, who also goes under the name of Richard Bachman. But who is he? And then we're on to question 3. The author of The Last Bus to Woodstock was born on September the 29th, 1930. Who is he? That's what you're getting on that one. You either know the book or you don't. And if you don't know the book, can you take a punt from anything that's in the clue, in the question? Any clues in there? I do think a lot of people will know the book. It's, yes. It's a famous one. They're all pretty famous so far. Question 3 again. The author of Last Bus to Woodstock was born on September the 29th, 1930. Who is he? I'm really hoping this week's quiz is a little bit easier. That's why I've gone heavy on the literature thing, on the literature theme, as opposed to in the past I've gone a bit more obscure. There's no sport this week. I know that will please a lot of people. No geography, no history. Yeah. It's pretty much straight up. There is an in the news round, which I know is never anyone's favourite, but I just like that one. I like that one. I like to test you, and I like to read the news and see the weird stories that come out every month. And if you're paying attention to the news, you might have caught a couple of these. But there's some good quirky ones this week as well. Question 4 of round 2. Author of The Sculptress, The Dark Room, and The Chameleon's Shadow, much more, has her birthday on the 26th of September. Who is she? A bit of a tricky one, but not impossible. What you were ordering for, Pat? We'll go again with question 4. Author of The Sculptress, The Dark Room, and The Chameleon's Shadow, as well as much more. Born on the 26th of September, which is 2 days' time. Yeah. Who is she? And happy birthday for 2 days' time. Happy birthday to all of our authors in this one. Perhaps not to some of them who might not any longer be with us. But question 2 and question 4, I believe, still are. I'm pretty sure question 5. Yeah, question 5 definitely is when we get to question 5, which is now. Question 5. Which Scottish author of Filth and Crime was born on September the 27th, 1958? You'll just have to bear with me a second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, family duties. You're from Barcelona, you know nothing, Pat. Okay. Good round. You don't know what you're doing until you get the answers there, Caroline. Keep the faith. I'll repeat question 5 again. Scottish author of Filth and Crime, many other things, was born on September the 27th, 1958. Name that author. And that's round 2 in the bag. Lovely jubbly. I'll give you a couple of moments in case anyone needs to catch up on any questions. Feel free to do so. Feel free to let me know what you're thinking so far. It's always good to keep the feedback going on. It's my birthday. It isn't my birthday. I might just throw myself in as a question on the month when it is my birthday and not tell you that it's coming. Which cheesy host of an online Facebook group quiz has his birthday on January the 14th, 1982. I've told you when it is now. Well, you can get me a card, can't you? Yeah, you can all get me a card. Not between you, one each. One each. Round 3 is going to be called Grand Theft Auto. I'm still young enough to play Grand Theft Auto, but old enough to remember the first game coming out and being absolutely blown away by it. No, I probably shouldn't have been playing it at that point. What a game. Well, I mean, when you think about it, it wasn't really that violent, you know, a couple of pixels and so forth. But yeah, game-changing games. And yeah, Grand Theft Auto is the name of round 3, which, as you might deduce, means it's got something to do with cars, but it's still to do with crime fiction. Oh, Caroline, I should have done a question for your dad. Should have thought of that, shouldn't I? So, round 3, question 1. What is the name of the titular Plymouth Fury in the I think I've got the year on there. Oh no, 1983 novel by Stephen King? No, it would be that year, wouldn't it? I'm just checking now. No, it was 1983. So I was thinking that the film came out around then, so the book must have been much earlier, but it wasn't. It was the same year, which surprised me. I guess they must have done it in conjunction. But yes. Yeah, I didn't say the name, did I? I'm giving lots of clues away here, aren't I? Question 1 again. If you've not got it, you'll blimey. What is the name of the titular Plymouth Fury in the 1983 novel by Stephen King? I haven't said the name, have I? It is a terrible movie. It's a much better book. It's one of those concepts that when you actually realise, especially in that day and age with the special effects that were available to them, and even now, I think if you try to realise it visually, it just looks so patently ridiculous that it makes it so hard to believe. But in a book, when you're writing it in the way that Stephen King writes things, it works. Because you're not seeing, you're letting your mind's eye cover over the cracks, which is why horror books are always much more scary than horror films, I find, because your mind will fill in the scary blanks and will give the edge that you can't necessarily get, especially when you've got some cheapo special effects. Yes, but that's question 1. Question 2, a bit of a trickier one. Bear with me if you want to see someone fall over a name, you're about to. Beauregard Montague, I did better than I thought, is the main character in S.A. Crosby's Blacktop Wasteland, but he's better known by which nickname? Cracking book. Cracking book. Wasted years of your life. How long were you watching in slow motion, Caroline? No, I know exactly what you mean. Yes, it's one of those books. It's one of those films that's no, once bitten, twice shy on that one, isn't it? Yes, once bitten, twice shy. There's a lot of. I think in that era there was some truly awful horror films. Some that were so bad they were good, but some that were so bad they were bad, and some that were excellent. The Thing, similar era, and he's excellent. That's a remake of an older film, so it could be done at that time with the cheap special effects. You just got to get the right plot and the right direction, just get it right. So question 2 again. Beauregard Montague is the main character in S.A. Crosby's Blacktop Wasteland, but he's better known by which nickname? Well, that's question 2. We'll be on to question 3 next. That's how it rolls in this quiz. We keep it in order. Stuart McBride's Blood Road, which opens with an investigation into a car crash where the occupant was a police inspector who was already believed dead, is the 11th book in the best-selling series featuring which Aberdeenshire-based detective? I'm sure I've seen these books mentioned in this group, so some of you are going to know this one. And if you don't, well, you should do. Question 3 again. Stuart McBride's Blood Road, which opens with an investigation into a car crash where the occupant was a police inspector who was already believed dead, is the 11th book in which best-selling series featuring which Aberdeenshire-based detective? So it's the detective I'm after, not the series. Yep. That's what I want. Pats on it. Pats on it. Good stuff. Question 4 is coming up. This is one of those pub quiz questions, pub quiz specials. If you know this, it's a good little bit of tidbit of information tonight. In the TV series, Morse, of course, drove the iconic Jaguar. But in the books, what sort of car does Dexter's Inspector Morse originally drive? Yeah, that's one of those that if you know it, you know it, and if you don't, you can have a punt and you might get lucky. But it's a real sort of pub bore sort of thing. Oh, you met Stuart, did you? Was he a nice guy? I presume he's a lovely guy. Yes. I definitely hope you've got it right then, Pat. In fact, if you've got it wrong, the chances are I've probably just got the question wrong. Or my answer wrong, should I say. So whatever Pat's got down as the answer is the answer. That's what we're going to go for there. Question 4 again. In the TV series Morse, of course, drove the Jaguar, the iconic Jaguar. But in the books, what sort of car does Dexter's Inspector Morse drive originally? It's not a Jaguar. I took one out of the equation for you. If you were going through all the list of cars, it's not a Jaguar. Yes. Yes. Well, I figured he would be a nice guy. You always hope that all of the authors, that especially that I think we sort of champion quite well in this group that have a good following. You sort of hope they're all quite nice and lovely. It'd be really disappointing to meet any of them. Someone you've read, invested time and money and built a sort of emotional bond with, as you do when you're reading somebody's books that you enjoy. It would be heartbreaking to meet them that they turn out to be anything less than pleasant. Yeah, it really would. I'm sure there are some. Who was I reading about in my research for the quiz? I can't remember if I actually used her as a question, so I won't say. I was reading about someone in my research for the quiz, and it was saying she's not a very nice person. I'm not going to say. I'm certainly not going to start down a current author in the public eye and the discussion of whether or not she's a nice person. Let's leave that one. Yes. So question 5. Martha Grimes' book, The Knowledge, takes its name from a test that was made a requirement for who? Way back in 1865. I actually double checked the year because I was like, are you sure? Yeah, 1865. Hopefully you'll know that one as well. That's one of those ones that people know or don't know. That's the last question in Grand Theft Auto. So question 5 again. Martha Grimes' book, The Knowledge, takes its name from a test that was made a requirement for who? Way back in 1865. There you go. Yeah, the majority, Caroline. That means not all of them. Oh. I wonder if she's going to name drop any of the bad eggs. No, don't. Those all live in the belief that they're all lovely. I'm sure most of them, I'd say most of them are. And that's the main thing, isn't it? And I'm sure if they're not lovely, they're not coming back into this group again, because, you know, we only want the good eggs, surely. Right. That's round 3 done. Obviously, the questions are up. If anyone missed any, I'll give you a moment to go through it. Yes, Sam, you're interviewing me soon. That's 2 weeks' time, week and a half time. I remember booking it in thinking October is miles away. I'll definitely have finished book 3 by then. Oh, best laid plans. Nearly done. Oh my days. We'll talk about it. Yeah, I'll have my interview with you then, and we can all discuss what's gone on. It'll be nice actually to be talking to an actual person that I can talk to, and also you guys can see that, rather than me just talking at you as I'm doing at the minute and feeling really self-conscious. I'll still feel self-conscious, but not as self-conscious perhaps when I'm actually bouncing back off someone. It's going to be fun. 7th October. Let's hope you can talk. Yes, otherwise it'll be very one. So as we know, I can prattle on for an hour on my own, unaided. But I don't think anyone's queuing up to see that again. Right then, should we move on to round 4? On the screen, yes, the TV round returns. Don't worry, I didn't get rid of that because, you know, I'm a firm believer that there's a good crossover between books and TV, and, you know, literature and television and film. Yeah, I think it's important that we make sure that there's no snobbery. Right? Some people are, oh, I never watched television. I've never understood that. Why would you cut yourself off from another source of information and education and entertainment? Anyway, before I go on a soapbox, question 1, the bill. And if you don't watch TV and I've just insulted you, I'm sorry about that. Question 1, the bill, which ran from 1984 to 2010, was set in which police station? Was based in which police station, should I say? And that's question 1. And yeah, I think most of us will get that one. Unless there's any young uns in who never saw the bill. Oh, you poor kids, you missed out. I still remember the first time I watched an episode of the bill. Around at my granny's, we were stopping over. You know, my mum and dad had gone out, so we'd been carted off around to my granny's, and she put the bill on, and we watched it. And yeah, brilliant. Oh, PC Dave Quinlan, all of that. Yeah, what show? Reg, yeah, Reg. Oh, loved it. Tony, brilliant show. Tosh Lines. All right, stop quoting people from the bill. The bill, which ran between 1984 and 2010, was set in which police station, or based in which police station? Yeah. Name the police station based from the bill. Oh, you didn't watch it, Pat? Sam can't think either. Oh man, I thought that was a gimme for everyone. Never mind. Everyone else can get the points on that. Question 2 then. The traditional folk song Johnny Todd was the basis for the theme tune to which 1960s British cop show? Caroline's got the answer for question 1. I've now got the theme tune in my head to question 2. Obviously, it was before my time, but we'll get onto why I know it in a bit. So question 2 again, the traditional folk song Johnny Todd was the basis for the theme tune to which 1960s British cop show? Again, it's one of those, you know, it's a useless bit of information if you know where it's come from. If you don't, think your 1960s British cop shows, pick one, go with it. There aren't many, you can't be far off. Sing it. Oh, look, my music career is dead and buried, and everyone's a lot the better for it. It's long gone. It's long gone. It's never coming back. It might do. I might write an album one day. Question 3. Yes, question 3. What is the name of the Chicago priest who solved crimes with the help of his nun sidekick, Sister Stephanie, or Stevie, and was based on a series of books by Ralph McInerney and ran from the late 80s until 1991? No, there will be no singing. I don't think there's words in it. So I could do the tune, but I'm not gonna, because no, I'm just not. I'll do 2 notes. Duh, duh, and there you go. There's the first 2 notes. Question 3 again. What was the name of the Chicago priest who solved crimes with the help of his nun sidekick, Sister Stephanie, or Sister Stevie, I think she was called, based on a series of books by Ralph McInerney, and ran from the late 80s to 1991. I've said the late 80s because there was a TV movie, which I think was 87, and the TV series might have started a year or two later. I wasn't 100% sure. Wiki and IMDb weren't exactly on the same page. I didn't want to confuse anyone, so I just thought I'd just say late 80s. But I wasn't aware there was a TV movie. I just thought it was a series until I did my research. It was being repeated on CBS drama a couple of years back. It's not on there anymore. They've still got Judge Judy. I love Judge Judy. Oh, she's the best. He played another character. Ah, there you go. Am I right in remembering one of your favourite shows would have been Murder, She Wrote? I'm thinking, was he in that? Can't think. Question 4. Robbie Coltrane played the lead role in the show Cracker. But what was his character's name? Robbie Coltrane also does played the Gruffalo. I love reading the Gruffalo and trying to do my best Robbie Coltrane voice when I do that. Bad, you'll taste good on a slice of bread. Sorry. That was my Robbie Coltrane doing the Gruffalo. We'll stop right there. I'll never be allowed back north of the border if I carry on like that. Question 4 again. Robbie Coltrane played the lead role in the show Cracker, but what was the name of his character? Yeah, I didn't realise he was in Murder, She Wrote. I should have guessed because a lot of these actors at that time sort of jobbed across all of the shows, as they do now, across all of the similar shows. We all do it now, don't we? You're sitting there, you're watching a TV show, someone comes in and goes, "Oh, I know him from somewhere. Yeah, IMDb. Oh, yeah. Saw him in an episode of Sex in the City or something 20 years ago." Things like that. They all keep crying. I mean, I'm always like, yeah, he was in 24. She was in 24. That died in 24. Yeah, in 24. That's my frame of reference for everyone's TV career. Were they in 24? Yes. Culturally relevant? No. Okay. Question 5. The sequel to Prime Suspect, which is the prequel, really, detailing Jane Tennyson's early career, has a year in the title. What's the year? Hagrid, yes, of course he did. Hagrid. He did. I've only ever seen. Oh, I've seen more than one of them. I've never seen all of the Harry Potter films. I was in that sort of generation where Harry Potter sort of came in just after I sort of probably got a little too old for it. And then when the films came out, I was not really that bothered. And yeah, I've never read any of the books. And I've only seen a few of the films. That feels like you're making a confession when you say that, doesn't it? It's terrible. The question's up, and I'll just repeat question 5 again. The prequel sequel to Prime Suspect, detailing Jane Tennyson's earlier career, has a year in the title. Which year? And that's on the screen then. We'll be moving on to the next round in a minute, which is called the Big Prizes. There are no prizes on offer. My admiration, that's a big prize. But we'll let you all have a moment to catch up, go through those questions, see what you've seen. I'm singing the song now. Right then. You've all had your time, haven't you? Yeah. So the big prizes. Now this round is all about crime fiction prizes. So yes, Robbie Coltrane. I could see Coltrane playing Rebus actually. I could see him doing it. Definitely. Right, the big prizes. Question 1. Like I said, these are all about crime fiction awards in different ways, shapes, and forms. And question 1. The Australian Crime Writers Association announced the nominations for their 2020 awards. But after which famous outlaw are the awards better known? There you go. I wonder who else got considered for it. I always find that interesting when they talk about actors that were considered for a role. I mean, I know there are one or two roles where they say, oh, we only ever have this person in mind. But every now and again, you hear about an actor who could have played a role and you think, oh, would that have worked? Would that have been better? And sometimes some roles you just watch and they're so iconic that you kind of can't imagine anyone else in them. And I think Rebus would be, you know, one of them now where you couldn't quite see it, but there are lots of some roles where you go, actually, that could have worked. It'd be, yeah. I always find that interesting. Question 1 again. The Australian Crime Writers Awards, it's hard to say, isn't it, announced the nominations for their 2020 awards recently. But after which outlaw are their awards named? There we go. Not sure? Take a punt on an outlaw. Sounds like a really bad motto to live one's life by, doesn't it? Not sure? Take a punt on an outlaw. Ain't going well. Question 2. In which month were the 2020 CWA Dagger Awards have their winners announced? The nominations are out. They came out start this month, big ones. But when do we find out the winners? The CWA Daggers. That one again. In which month will the 2020 CWA Dagger Award winners be announced? That's question 2. Again, they lost my nomination in the post. Question 3. Which author scooped this year's McIlvanney Award for her novel Pine? That's definitely one we've talked about in the group. So, yeah. The answer's there for you. Don't be searching in the group now. None of that. We'll be popping open a new window. Sam's been hobnobbing with the stars on this one. Skippy was a bad kangaroo. And you don't want to mess with a kangaroo either, Caroline. They are vicious. Get them cornered. Ooh, no, thank you. There's so many things that will kill you in Australia. And people, I think because there's so many wild and vicious animals out there that people go, kangaroos, they're sound, they're safe. No! Don't mess with a kangaroo. It will rip you apart. It's just another thing that will kill you in Australia. Australia will kill you. Question 3 again. Which author scooped this year's McIlvanney Award for her novel Pine? You interviewed the show. Well, get the answer right, you get the point. I mean, that's fair, isn't it? Vegemite, yeah. Oh, that's what they have it out there, isn't it? Vegemite, yeah. I'd love to go to Australia, but it's the spiders. It's the spiders. I can't do it. I'd love to go, but I just couldn't do it. The moment I got off the plane, I'd be like, where are they? Where are you keeping them? I won't be able to go to the toilet once. I just couldn't do it. It'd be a very constipated trip if I went to Australia. I couldn't do it. It'd have to be a flying visit. Petrified the whole time now. Anxiety through the roof. Oh, no. Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. Question 4. Yes, we are on question 4. Just checking my questions. Michael Christie's Greenwood won this year's Arthur Ellis Award. But what country doles out that particular award? That's a little trickier one, isn't it? Yeah. Still can't think. Oh, if you know it, if you've heard it and you've not remembered it, it's going to be one of those. It's going to, when you hear it, it's gonna feel like a slap in the face because yeah, you're going to know that you knew it, and you know, oh, of course I did. I think you're similar age to me, aren't you, Sam? So it's one of those for our generation where I think it just almost for a long time it was just a place that should have existed because it was so well known. I mean, the Bill was on every night, wasn't it? Let's be honest. You know, it's like Walford in EastEnders, and yeah, I've forgotten where Emmerdale's set. I don't watch Emmerdale. I don't watch EastEnders. I don't watch those. Hollyoaks in Hollyoaks. Ah, dear. Question 4 again. Michael Christie's Greenwood won this year's Arthur Ellis Award, but which country doles out the Arthur Ellis Award? So which country? So, for example, the Australian Crime Watchers Award is Australia, and the Daggers are Britain. Which country is the Arthur Ellis Award? And we're staying with Arthur Ellis for question 5. Yes. Who was Arthur Ellis, after which the awards are named? So if you didn't know the country, you got no chance. Sorry. It seemed like a really good question at the time. I really thought, oh yeah, I like that. Now I'm actually saying it out loud. I'm not so sure about that. The questions are up if you missed any. Question 5 again. Staying on the Arthur Ellis Award. Who was Arthur Ellis, after which the awards are named? So obviously the Australian Crime Writers Awards are named after an outlaw. Was Arthur Ellis an outlaw? No. Yes. Are you in Leeds then, Caroline? Is it in Leeds, Emmerdale? There is a studio not far from where I used to work out when I was in Leeds. Sure part of Emmerdale was filmed in there. Yes. I'm not sure. Is that Leeds? I'm sure there's part of Emmerdale was filmed down that way. There's a couple of TV studios next to where I was working. I was working in a hotel because they don't put you in a TV studio when you're making something like Traffic Cops, which is what I was making in Leeds at the time. Yeah, you just work out a hotel room. That's most TV is at a hotel room. That's plush. But that's the end of the big prize, which means we're on to the last round, which is in the news. Love Leeds. It's a great city, Caroline. I absolutely love it. I'm quite good that we don't film up there anymore when we do Traffic Cops because I had such a good time up there. Holiday Inn, that's where we always used to stay. Yeah, great part of the world. Right, in the news is the last round. Always the trickiest one. If you've been paying attention to the news, there's points to be had. If you haven't, I'm sorry. Go and put the kettle on. Question 1. What is the name of the theatre in Salford that is set to become a Nightingale Court? So they're all still crime related in a way. So if you've heard any crime news in the last week, yeah, you know, this is one. Hey, you've just joined us. You can start the video from the beginning and catch up and watch from the start. Or it'll be up on YouTube at some point, or you can just whiz through the questions that are in the chat and get your answers down nice and quick. We're doing round 5 as we speak. Question 1 again. What is the name of the theatre in Salford that is set to become a Nightingale Court? You're out that way, are you, Sam? Yeah, again, another place I've worked near. Obviously, I've worked over at Media City a few times, and whenever I'll on my way up to United, I park at Media City and then walk past this particular theatre in Salford on my way to Old Trafford. Take me home, United Road. Yes, won't be doing that for a while, but roll on the day we can do. That's question 1 done. Question 2 then. £2.5 million worth of books stolen from a warehouse in London, including first editions of works by Galileo and Isaac Newton, were found under a floor of a house in which European country? So if it's been in the news, if you've seen it in the news, cracking, you'll have the answer. If not, not. We'll go again on that one. £2.5 million worth of books stolen from warehouse in London, including first editions of works by Galileo and Isaac Newton, were found under the floor of a house in which European country? Again, there's not only so many European countries, there's 54, I think. So, if we still count. So, have a punt. The odds are against you, but, have a punt. Question 3. A campaign has begun in Scotland to clear 2,500 people wrongly sentenced for which crime? That's a lot of people, isn't it? Yeah. I have a moment to think on that one, and I'll repeat it. I'll repeat it now. Question 3. A campaign has begun in Scotland to clear 2,500 people wrongly sentenced for which crime? That's a lot of people. 2,500. Oh, Even when you know the answer, it still felt like a lot. Question 4. This one's been in the news very recently. A man in Wales has been jailed for continuously phoning the police to complain about what? Question 4 again. A man in Wales has been jailed for continuously phoning the police to complain about what? Would he be distracting everyone if he keeps phoning them up, wouldn't he? And Finalamon, question 5. 3 vials were left on a train in Germany, causing a scare that resulted in the local bomb squad being called. But what was the substance? But what did the substance finally turn out to be? You don't have to answer in here, T. You can write it down on a piece of paper. You're all good. Questions are up. And question 5 again. 3 vials were left on a train in Germany, causing a scare that resulted in the bomb squad being called out. But what did the vials eventually turn out to contain? And there are your questions. I'll give you a moment. Recharge your beverages, if you so need to, and then I'll give you the answers. I'll bring them up on here. Right, I'll give you a moment, 2 seconds. If anyone needs anything repeating, do let me know. But all the questions are in the chat, so Sam's posted them. Thank you very much, Sam, for doing that for me tonight. And we shall go through the answers in just a second. I'll let you go through. Give you a moment. 30 seconds. You're all good, T. The answers are coming now. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it, mate. Crime fiction will be the first lot of answers. All right. Shall we ready? I've returned on my screen there, so it's weird watching myself in the past. Right then. The answers. You ready to mark your scores? Remember, all you're playing for is pride, but pride's an important thing. Question 1. I should get the questions up at the same time so I can see what I was asking. Right. So I asked you, Deadbeat, Blue Jeans and Starstruck featured which main character? Based in Manchester, private investigator Kate Brannigan was the star of those books. Kate Brannigan was the answer I was looking for. Of course, all by the excellent Val McDermid. Question 2. Tuva Moodysson, the star of the Will Dean's novels. She is deaf. Deaf was what I was looking for. Some sort of hearing impairment, whatever you put down there. Question 3. I love a question where the clue is in the question itself. In this one, it was in the title of the book. You might have guessed that from the title of the book. Firewatching was the title of the book. So yes, D.S. Tyler was chasing an arsonist. Number 4. Death of a Mermaid was the title of Leslie Thompson's book, released in May this year. The Mermaids being a group of convent girls, friends, who all love the Little Mermaid. Who doesn't? Finally, 5, Tainted Love, book 1 in T.S. Hunter's Soho noir series. Soho. Again, a place I do a lot of work, working in TV. And it's got some great pubs. So, the birthday round. Born on September 15th, 1980. Question 1, of course, was the very great Agatha Christie. If you're in a crime book club group and you didn't get that, I don't know, mate. Question 2, of course, Stephen King. I don't need to go through the books he's written, do we? We all know that. Question 3. Now this was good. The Last Bus to Woodstock. Sounds like it should be a tale about the summer of love, but actually it's Woodstock, Oxfordshire. And that should lead you to your man Morse, and the correct answer we were looking for, Colin Dexter. Question 4, author of The Sculptress, The Dark Room, Chameleon's Shadow, is Minette Walters. And question 5, Filth and Crime, Irvine Welsh, of course, very well known for Trainspotting, probably his most famous book. And there are lots of famous authors born in September. Edgar Rice Burroughs, T.S. Eliot, Roald Dahl, H.G. Wells, Cecilia Ahern, Truman Capote, George R.R. Martin, William Golding, Julia Bloody Donaldson, Tolstoy. And that really, honestly, is to name but a few. There are hundreds of famous authors. September, of course, is the month, in the UK at least, with the highest number of births. So something about those long, dark December nights, Christmas parties, mistletoe, a few too many drinks, seems to bring out the best in people. My wife is a September baby, and my eldest is a September baby. It's an expensive month for me, but it's over now. Moving on to round 3, which was Grand Theft Auto. The name of the Plymouth Fury, of course, Christine. Beauregard Montague goes by the name of Bug. And it's S.A. Crosby, and it's a cracking book. It really must be something to do with Christmas. Everyone just gets in the party spirit, don't they? You know, there's a lot of love at Christmas, and if you can't enjoy the love at Christmas, when can you? Where am I? Question 3. Logan Lazarus McRae is the detective from Grampian Police in Scotland, part of the world where I have my roots. My dad hails from Peterhead, just north of Aberdeen. The series I know well. Morse, Morse didn't get the luxury of the Jag in the books. He instead drove a Lancia. Rumour has it that it was John Thor's suggestion that they actually moved to the Jag for the TV series. I don't know how true that is. That's just what I managed to glean from my research. And talking of research, you need to do your research for question 5. The knowledge is the test, of course, for taxi drivers. Taxi drivers in London, if you want to be specific, is designed to show their understanding of the quickest routes around the city. Something that perhaps is becoming a little bit redundant in this day and age, but you can't become a taxi driver until you've passed the knowledge. There you go. And way back in 1865 that came in. On the screen, here we go then, the police station. The bill was based in Sun Hill. Yes, from the fictional London borough of Canley. There's Canley in Coventry, but not in London. But yes, Sun Hill is the answer I was looking for. You got it now, Sam? Did you get it, Sam? Or have you just gone, oh my God, I knew that? Question 2. Good one, this, if you know it. The theme tune that you might still hear at football grounds up and down the country, weirdly enough. Not so weirdly when you think about it being Everton, because the TV show Z-Cars, which is the answer, was set in Merseyside. Watford play as well, not quite sure why. And that's the theme tune that those two teams run out to onto the pitch. But yes, Z-Cars was the answer I was looking for. My club, Nuneaton Borough, used to use Fanfare for the Common Man, which I always remember hearing when the teams came out back in the early 90s. And yeah, I really wish they'd bring that back, because it's a fantastic piece of music. Where are we? Question 3. The Chicago priest. Well, that was, of course, Father Frank Dowling, the priest from the show imaginatively titled The Father Dowling Mysteries. Reaching right back into the memory banks here again of the 90s. Yes, cracker. Robbie Coltrane played Dr. Edward Fitzgerald. And I'm in a good mood, so if you said Fitz, you can have a point. That's absolutely fine. Do you get half a point for Hills, Sam? I'll give you a third of a point. No, I'll give you half a point. Yeah, I'm feeling generous. You put Father Brown. Oh, Sam, you knew what other shows he'd been in. Oh, I'm heartbroken. Where are we? Yes, one more to go on that round, wasn't there? The TV round. Prime Suspect, the sequel, had a year in its name. What was the year? The year was 1973. The big prizes. The Australian Crime Writers Association Awards are also known as the Ned Kelly Awards. Yes, the most famous Australian outlaw, gunslinger, and so forth. Infamous, famous, however you want to dress that one up. Question 2. You've not long to wait until the 2020 CWA Daggers, October the 22nd. So October was the month I was looking for. Question 3. Francine Toon was the author who picked up the McIlvanney Award for her book Pine. Not read it yet. It's in the TBR. It's a big TBR. We all know that problem. The Arthur Ellis Award. This was a tricky one. Sorry for making a really hard question for you. And that's from Canada. That's where you get the Arthur Ellis Award. Greenwood, which won it this year. Again, a book I've not read yet, but it's meant to be excellent. It follows the story of the Greenwoods, their family, across multiple generations. So it's spread out across from the past and into the future. So yeah, it certainly sounds an interesting concept, and obviously it's been very well received. And really impressed if you get question 5, because it might have helped if you knew that Canada was the answer to the first one. Arthur Ellis was the pseudonym, I can never say that word, of Arthur English, the official hangman of Canada between 1912 and 1935. He adopted the Ellis surname from the English hangman, John Ellis. He conducted over 600 hangings until his final hanging, which went terribly wrong when he misjudged the length of rope and decapitated the victim. And in the end, he died in poverty after being fired for that egregious mistake. I will definitely read it. It's Caroline. It sounds excellent. It looks excellent. It looks really good, actually. Finally, the In the News round. The theatre in Salford. It's the Lowry Theatre. It's going to become a Nightingale Court to help clear the backlog of court cases that has grown during the pandemic. It will host non-custodial cases, civil cases, family matters, and the funds it raised for the theatre will help it to put on socially distant shows that it would otherwise not be able to financially do. So they have received a little bit of criticism, but I think that's probably a bit undue. You know, it's different days, isn't it? T, come next time, October the 20-something. Come and join us from the beginning, 8 p.m. You'll have a great time. Right, question 2. The books that were stolen were found in rural Romania. They'd been stolen in 2017 in what the police described as a Mission Impossible style raid, where the perpetrators cut holes in the ceiling, abseiled down, then perched themselves on the ledges as they stole the books. Fantastic. First editions by Galileo and Isaac Newton were stolen, but have since been recovered. So great news for all concerned, apart from those guys who nicked them. I don't know how you're ever going to fence things like that, but obviously some people buy with less scruples than others. This is a good one. Question 3. 2,500 people wrongly convicted, and a campaign has recently been launched in Scotland to clear them of the crime of witchcraft. Yes, led by QC Claire Mitchell, a formal application for an appeal is set to go in next year, which will clear the way for 2,500 people, mostly women, burnt at the stake for the crime of witchcraft, to be officially pardoned. Scotland has never officially pardoned them. There's a small memorial in Edinburgh, sort of acknowledging the fact that these people were burnt at the stake, but there's been no official pardon. And presumably, Scotland therefore doesn't believe that witchcraft is necessarily not a real thing. There we go. Question 4. This was in the news yesterday. You might have seen it. The Welshman jailed for 19 weeks for consistently phoning the police to complain about Ant McPartner still being on TV. Yes, He'd been warned previously not to phone complaining that Ant McPartlin was still on TV, having been convicted of drink driving. However, he continued to phone the police, complaining that Ant McPartlin was still on TV, and he's now spending 19 weeks in prison. I'm not going to say his name because it's quite clear that the man, poor bloke, has obviously some sort of issue. But yes, all the same. Yeah, final question. Question 5. Yeah, so you've really been paying attention this time if you've got this one. 3 vials left on a train in Germany that came to the attention of the bomb squad ultimately were found to be safe and contain hamster DNA. Yes, hamster DNA was what was found in these 3 vials that were found on the train in Germany. I think if you, I don't know how you, Pat, if you stick a GIF, I don't know how you post a picture of it, I'm afraid, Pat. Yes, hamster DNA. That was the one. If you got that, that would make you my star pupil of the week. But that's it. That's the quiz. Total up your scores. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you had fun. Yeah. How did we get on? How's everyone doing? Let's have a look. We're still dealing with Pat's picture. Have you got? I take it it's the picture of the plaque of the witches, Pat. Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. I can't believe it. Yeah, they've still not been pardoned. So I can't imagine there's going to be any legal resistance to that. So I will watch out for that next year, and I hope that case comes through. 7.5, Sam. Yeah, that's good. That's good. 7. It could have been 8 if you remember the word sun. Thank you very much, Sam. Anyone else who wants to share, go for it. Caroline's going to clone as a hamster. There you go. You probably cloning hamsters. It's got to be quite useful because they're not hardy creatures, are they? And the kids' pets, and it saves all the aggro. You know, I'll just quickly clone another one out the back when it doesn't. You wake up in the morning, its legs are in the air. It saves the kids the upset. Oh, let's get another one. Same one in it goes. 14 for Caroline. Ooh, good score. Well done. 11 for Pat. Well done, Pat. Excellent work. Guys, it has been a pleasure as always. I believe we shall be back here on, let's have a look, October, did we say the 22nd or the 29th? I think we said the 22nd, so October the 22nd. And I will be apparently doing a proper interview on October the 7th, where I'll be talking about books, because apparently I do write. So that'd be great. T, join us from the start next time. I'm glad you enjoyed it all the same. Thank you everyone for joining me and putting up with me. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you all. And I shall see you all very soon. Have a lovely evening. Take care. Good night.